Howdy y'all. Hey, Lori and I got this 2010 Jeep, but it didn't come with a trailer hitch, so I looked online and found this one from Rugged Ridge. It's got a 2-inch receiver on it. It bolts up with 4 bolts straight to the frame, and it comes with a wiring harness. So you can get them without the wiring harness, but I'd like to have lights and stuff on the trailer. So anyway, it's got this little, I guess, 4-pin flat connection here. So anyway, I'm going to try and get it on, and I'll show you how I've done it. Now the first item is to take off these 2 bolts back here that are by the tailpipe that are holding this plastic bumper on. So we'll go ahead and get those off. Alright, now I'm down at the other end of the driver's side, and see if we can go ahead and get these other 2 bolts out here. These are 5/8 bolts. Now after these 2 end bolts at each end are removed, and then there's a bracket over here, kind of down here at the end of the muffler. There's a bracket down at each end of the muffler, and it comes up and then dog legs over, makes a little L shape, and then goes up and attaches onto the back of that bumper. So rather than pull this out thinking that I can pivot it, these arms won't let this bumper pivot where these other 2 bolts came out. So I'm going to have to get in here and take these bolts out from the actual back of the bumper. Should be, yeah, it's 5/8, so we'll go ahead and, there's kind of a little recess in the bodywork there that looks like it allows that socket to get in there pretty good. So tailgate out of the way, and see if this bumper will come off of here now. Oh yeah, there's where you can see those. You can see the bolt holes a little bit better now. Let me bring this camera up here and show you. These are the 2 on the outside end, and then there's the little dog leg bracket I was telling you about. Those bolts just come in right through there. Alright, now we're going to see if we can get this hitch on here, and it just has a channel that slides around both sides of that bumper. Just a matter of getting it lined up, and then putting a washer on one of these bolts and sliding it through. We'll try and bolt it from the front. And we'll get another one on this side over here. Just kind of hold it on while we get our other bolts. We just have to take a big old washer and a lock nut and put on the back side of each one of these bolts. Now these are, I believe, are 3/4 inch. And I'm going to use a box end on the back side just to hold that nut. And then we'll just snug them down good. There's a little gap in between, but it should compress just fine. See up in behind here where I'm putting the washers on? There's plenty of room in between that muffler, and the body's not in the way. So, all right, we're going to try and get these on 80 pounds. Ooh. Now to get the wiring harness, we're going to take out the screws from the the driver's side tail light, but only take out the inside screws, and then just wiggle this around, bump it from over here, and it'll come loose hopefully for you. Now once you get your light unhooked, there's a little kind of a little paddle thing you can push here, or get a screwdriver down in it from on the top side, but just wiggle it back and forth till you get your light loose. Set your light aside, and then the wiring harness is going to have 2 plugs, and I believe that the larger, the Y part, is going to feed right back to where you just unplugged the light from, and then this is going to be the new plug that goes on the light. So we'll take this carefully and plug the light back into it until it clicks. That sounded pretty good. Now we'll set this just inside the bed of the tailgate there, and now the 4-pin is going to have to feed down through here. And if you look, let me see if I can get a light and show you. There's a little piece of foam down in here. I don't know. Let me see if you can see that or not. But anyway, there's a there is a piece of foam down in there. And you can see there's kind of a hole right there. And if you just feel from underneath, you'll be able to get your wire and feed through that hole in the foam. And just towards the driver is a hole in the frame that you'll be able to get that wiring harness through. So I'm going to go ahead and feed that through. Take the 4-pin harness and mash it up into this little receiver here that should hold it on. There we go. And then it's got these little, I don't know, they're kind of little plastic screw type things. And if you find a spot that's on the frame, I don't know how well you'll be able to see that or not, but we'll just go ahead and mash that screw into one of these little form-fitted holes, and it kind of help keep that wire up from getting, you know, caught by a branch or something and torn off of there. We'll reinstall our bumper just the same way that it came off. Now, if it's not lining up for you, you got to watch out. Right up in here, there's a little kind of a inner fender liner, mud flap kind of thing, and this bumper has to kind of go on the back side of that. So, and it flexes just fine. So once you get that accomplished, then these bolt holes here should line up pretty easy. Them down good. You don't want to strip out. That's just plastic with probably a metal insert in there. So okay, I've got the hitch all hooked up now. The 4 flat pin is connected. Got a little receiver here that is not dropping down quite enough. Got a little lock on though. And as you can see, the trailer is not quite sitting as level as we might like. A little bit high in the front end there. But I'll get a little hitch that'll drop that down a little bit more. But you can see the lights are working. We'll check the trailer lights. And that seems to be working all right as well. So, well, I got some mowing to do. I better get busy.